found that picture of Oprah? I don't know where you found that picture.
So, the legendary comedian Monique went on Club Shay Shay, that's Shannon Sharp's channel, to have a conversation. Now, everybody talked about what happened with Cat Williams, and when Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay, and he just spilled the beans, right? That set a precedent. And that precedent was for somebody now like Monique to come on and to also spill the beans, right? These are some of the things that we have been wondering about, wanting to get everything. And this is basically uncensored, no commercial breaks. Of course, Shannon Sharp does like 2 promotions, but outside of that, no commercial break, just full-on conversation, nearly 3 hours, right? So before we get into what was said, coming out of watching the entire thing, Sabs, what is your reflection upon what Monique went through and how she was treated? Just give me your thoughts from 30,000 feet.
Overall, I would say billionaire exploitation. Because remember, guys, Tyler Perry and Oprah are billionaires, right? So when you hear some of the things that Monique's going to talk about in reference to labor and in reference to not wanting to play their game, not go along with what a lot of other people do in that business, and then how they will try to shut down your labor. So they try to hurt you financially. Essentially, like that's what I thought about. Again, it's like they became billionaires because they exploited people. And Monique is one of those people that has been exploited. And we also have to remember that, like, she's not alone. She's just one of the few that are speaking out. So always keep that in mind.
True. I came out of it thinking to myself, when it comes to what she went through, this speaks to how we're treated not just as workers, but I'm also thinking this from an identity perspective as well, because she's a Black woman, right? Also, and a lot of people don't want to talk about this, but also she's heavyset.
Right. She does talk about that.
Is a variable too that some people just don't want to talk about. Right.
And you got to remember, she's smaller now.
And sometimes the discrimination factors in to how we treat people when it comes to class analysis. And so I think that it's important that we take that in as well and try to, when people like you and me say like the decolonization of our minds, it's also walking away from some of these things that we judge people with, these immutable characteristics, as a means to degrade them when it comes to their class, right?
Right.
So I think it's important too. So we're going to start off with Tyler Perry.
Whew.
And her addressing of Tyler Perry. Ooh, boy. We're going to start from the beginning, baby. And Sabs, just please let me know when you want me to pause on some points.
Okay.
Wait. She crashed me up. It would be a lie. Like, why are you going to demand an apology for something that you did? Like, bruh, like, really? Like, is Tyler Perry's hubris so great that he is like, even when he is in the wrong, he doesn't want to come out and say, I was wrong? Has the money gotten that through to his head where he's like, well, even if I'm wrong, I'm going to act like I'm right?
Yes, because Tyler Perry owns his own studio now. His own studio. So no other African-American in the entertainment industry has been able to do that. He was the first to do that. He's a billionaire.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Man, these billionaires, man, and that's the thing. No matter if they're black, white, brown, it doesn't matter. The fact is that they use exploitation to get to where they are. And it's clear here. Very clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Notori said Kevin Hart is dead ass wrong. And remember, Kevin Hart was the one who smeared Cat Williams. He was the one that started the rumor on the Breakfast Club and told everybody that Cat Williams was on drugs and not in his right mind.
Yep. And so this goes again to like people gatekeeping. And you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of some, not all, but there's some people who are PMC that make gatekeep. And whenever those of us who are on the lower rungs economically try to change things, it's almost like where you have some people who are part of the professional managerial class. It's like just be grateful for what you got, right? And just sit down and be quiet. When we're like, no, we don't, we want our healthcare, we want our housing, we want education. It's just like, for instance, it reminds me of liberals that go, well, just be happy with what you got. What you have is better than what you had back then. It's like, and I'm not trying to say names, but it's like what David Pakman said. Well, things are better than what they are back then. And I'm like, maybe to you, but you're telling us to sit down and be quiet. And that's not right. And so this goes the same way about how Kevin Hart is being a gatekeeper. You have a lot of liberals who are gatekeepers as well when it comes to us actually having our material needs met.
And you have gatekeepers in independent media. You have gatekeepers in journalism. You have gatekeepers. You guys have gatekeepers at your jobs. If you sit back and think about it, I bet you can point to one person, at least one person, who is a gatekeeper.
Oh, baby. Yes. Let's continue.
One of the things I want to add here is that it's not that people don't criticize, people in the entertainment industry don't criticize the entertainment industry, right? I just want to be very clear about that. Mm-hmm. However, what Monique did that was uniquely different is that she named names.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things she talks about later on in the interview is they told her, you're not supposed to name names, whereas other people would just blame the studio or production, but she actually named names. And so that's why they tried to blacklist her. That's why they're trying to blacklist Taraji P. Henson, because she did the same thing. She named names, whereas other people in the industry, they had these issues too, but they just were like, yeah, there's issues with the studio or that kind of thing, but they never named the names. But I think a lot of people owe Monique an apology because they basically had convinced, I would say, a lot of people in the general public that she was the problem, that she was the one, and they were perfectly fine. And like, honestly, and I told you this before, JB, Oprah and Tyler Perry, their asses need to be thrown under the bus, considering what they've done to Black people, to other Black people.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this. And number one, I owe Monique an apology because I didn't say that I didn't believe her. There's a lot of us that relegated to when she made the claim that she did. I said to myself, that's rich people problems.
Yeah, me too.
And that's how I looked at it. That's rich people problems. What, why is that a big problem? When in reality, it's the principle, right? And this is what I want to go to. Men who are watching in chat. When you are at work and people will say, well, you're not supposed to share how much you make. No. It's legal. Share how much you make. Especially around your female coworkers. And if your female coworkers are just as qualified, just as experienced as you, and yet they're making less, then it's probably time for you to go, hey, she's not getting paid the same amount as me. That ain't right. I don't care what race you are. If that woman's working next to you, that's technically your sister in the workforce. Like, nah, my sister needs to get paid the same, right? Especially if we both have the same amount of experience, the same amount of education, what have you. The problem is that a lot of us, we just like, man, that's not my business. I'm just going to keep it moving.
Or I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's another
thing. And we don't
too.
speak out for our fellow workers that may be of a different marginalized community than us. That's the point that I think that a lot of us need to start thinking about. Because, yeah, rich people problems. But the point is that she was stiffed partially because of her identities, right? Because let her be a Brad Pitt. Let her be a George Clooney. Let her be a Matthew McConaughey. That shit wouldn't have flown at all.
And her weight, because the video you're watching right now, that is what Monique looks like today. When she first started in the entertainment business, she was larger. She was significantly larger. She lost weight, but she was significantly larger. Funny as hell. But the point that I think that she makes is that you had like Melissa McCarthy, who was also, a heavier woman, right? But notice they are willing to give her more money. So there's other things that she has to deal with as well. So the thing is that I thought it was like rich people problems too, JB. But as I found out more about it, then I realized she wasn't even really rich. And she goes into, you guys haven't seen the interview, watch the full interview, because she goes into detail about how much they were actually paying her when she was on the Parkers. And even when the Parkers, this is a show that made billions of dollars. And then when the Parkers went into syndication, how they basically shortchanged them when they paid them for the syndication episodes. She really was not, just because someone's on TV doesn't mean they're making a lot of money. Always just remember that. So then I thought about it. I was like, well, damn, they really did mess her up. But Oprah got paid, but Tyler got paid. And then there's a part that she mentions in the interview where they wanted her to go do promotion for free. They wanted her to go to Cannes Film Festival and do promotion for free. They weren't going to pay for any of her expenses or anything. And she was already struggling financially. And she had just had twins.
Yeah. Like, what the hell?
That's the exploitation. That's the exploitation. When have you ever seen, do you see Oprah and Tyler Perry working for free? No, they were getting paid.
Yeah. They be wanting you to stay long after work, and they wanted you to come in early without clocking in. Like, no. Let this be a lesson to all of you who are workers. Do not work for free. Do not do more than what is expected of you, and do just what your job entails for you to do. At your wage.
And you had people, and thank you, Rondo, $50,000 per episode. Mind you, you had people on Seinfeld, Friends, which basically was a copycat version of Living Single.
Yup.
It was basically the white version of Living Single, stole the plot and everything.
Yup.
They never paid those actors on Living Single. They were never able to get that kind of money.
No, they weren't.
Erica Alexander still talks about this today. People do her interviews with her today, still talks about that. But you had actors on those shows who were they were asking for like $1 million an episode.
They did. They got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Kevin said Janet Hubert talked about this when she was fired from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, same thing. They blackballed her too. Yep. You know why? She named names, and she named Will Smith's name.
Yup. And that's something that you just don't do in Hollywood.
Then he's another one that has been known to stab people in the back.
I'm just saying. All right, let me do this last one, and then we can move on to the big O. Have you ever been swallowed up?
There you go. You see that? You see what he did though? He told her he wasn't in the business for free, and she told him she not working for free.
Yeah.
So you see, it was like he really wanted her to work for free.
Yo, hang on. Let me put us back on full screen. This is the dynamic between workers and owners. This is exactly what we're talking about from a Marxist point of view. It's exactly what Monique went through. Was, look, they want you to work for free so that they can save more money and make more profit, right? Because ultimately, who would have made more money from Monique doing that free promotion?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Monique she probably got a mortgage. She got kids to feed, right? She ain't making as much money as you think she is. So guess what? She has to say, nah, I'm not going to work for free. But then now you're at an impasse. You have somebody that has all this money, like Tyler Perry, who's a billionaire, but he's so damn tight-fisted that he will not even let out a pittance for her to do a tour for the cans and promote it so that his return would actually, his ROI would actually be higher. But this is the problem with people, with these billionaires. These are the problems with the Harlan Crows. These are the problems with the Elon Musks. These are the problems with people like Charles Koch, all these different billionaires, because they're so damn tight-fisted that the moment that you say, I'm not willing to work for free, they're willing to kick you out and then put somebody else in who will do it.
That's how they become billionaires. That's how they become, like, this is why I say, like, billionaires are a problem. And people are like, you can't get mad at people for making money. I can get mad at people for making money at the expense of exploiting other people. Yes, you can. That's how they get. Think about this, guys. Let's think about it, okay? You think about all the businesses that Tyler Perry and Oprah have, and then there's products, there's production that goes along with that, right? Have you ever sat back and asked who's making those products? Probably somebody overseas, probably someone in the global south, in a sweatshop somewhere. This was outed and revealed about Rihanna, right? With her Fenty stuff. It was outed that she had kids overseas making this stuff in sweatshops. That's how they become billionaires. If they were actually paying people what they're worth and giving them benefits, they wouldn't become billionaires. And that goes for Taylor Swift too. So for all the people who are Swifties and like, not Taylor, she's a nice billionaire. There are no nice billionaires. There's no such thing. You have no soul. You have no soul when you exploit people like this. And who needs $1 billion? Why do you need $1 billion? For what? This is why I say don't fall in love with these people. This is why I say don't idolize people. Because you start to idolize these people and you think they're your hero or someone you admire, then you find out, oh no, they were treating the workers in such a way. There are no these people. There's no such thing. I don't care if you like their music. Fine, like their music. That doesn't mean that they're a nice billionaire. There's nothing nice about exploiting people. And that goes for Beyonce too, and Jay-Z.
Yep. And don't get me started on Dr. Dre.
All of them. You got to remember, Tyler Perry owns his own studio. This was his movie that she's talking about. It was his movie. How much is he paying the actors? Tyler Perry made all these movies. How much he's paying these actors and actresses? How much? Come on now.
Yep. Now, speaking of billionaires, let's move on to the big O. Oh. All right, Oprah done did her wrong.
Oprah's done a lot of people wrong. What happened to the money that Oprah raised for people in Lahaina, huh? What happened to all that money? Those people ain't see that money.
Nope.
That was another grift.
Grift queen. Let's continue. Does this make you think about the Democratic Party?
Yep.
Because the Democratic Party will be, because you can be like, well, we'll get him the next time. We'll get him the next time. We'll get him the next time. What does Eric always talk about? About making demands, right? Shout out to you, Eric. But the moment you try to make demands, then you got some gatekeepers, even some people in independent media that go, no, see, you guys just need to sit down. You guys can't do this. If you guys do this in this way, then, we're going to get Donald Trump again.
Yep. Wait the next time. Remember what she said? Mm-hmm. Some of us will be dead before it even happened. This is the thing. Again, gatekeepers hold you back, whether it's the entertainment business, whether it's the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, whether it's electoral politics, period, whether it's at your workplace. Some of you may have heard people say this at your jobs. When you thought you were ready for a promotion or felt like you deserved a promotion, you've been there long enough and you've done a good job. Some of you may have heard that same thing from your supervisor during your review. Well, not this time, maybe, the next time. Next thing you know, you've been working there for 10 plus years, getting that little 2% pay raise increase, still haven't been promoted. Then they bring in someone who's an external applicant and they bring them in and put them in the position that would have been a promotion for you.
Yep. And all you get is a lousy pizza party.
Yep. 23 years and they throw you, congratulations on making it 20 years at this company. You show up to your congratulations party and there's a cake and a card signed by all of your coworkers. That's what you get for 20 years.
Yep. And they couldn't even give you the good pizza. They got you the Little Caesars.
The $5
hot and ready.
$5 pizza.
Couldn't even get you the Pizza Hut.
So the point that Monique is making is if you don't push back, if you don't stand up, it's never going to happen. If you just keep being quiet, it's never going to happen. This is the same thing we talk about with the two-party system. If you just continue to play by their rules, by the Democrat rules, by the Republican rules, no, you're not going to break the duopoly. No, you're not going to see a third party actually succeed. No, you're not going to see an independent actually succeed. If you continue to play by their rules, you have to speak up and you got to stand up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with, this system. The thing is that we can't keep going, well, maybe next time. No, there is no more next time.
And one thing I want to add, JB, the people that are telling you to wait to the next time, those people are getting paid. And some of them may be making a lot of money to tell you to wait to the next time.
Boom.
You got to watch out for the detractors. Some of these people, I'm serious, and I told you this, JB, I think behind the scenes, some people are being paid to push a certain agenda to stop some type of progress. I really do believe it. Why do you think all the people, when we look at media on YouTube, why do you think the right-wing channels, why do you think they have the most viewership? Why do you think they have all these big contracts and stuff like that? Because they're trying to keep you stuck where you are. They're actually advocating against progress. That's actually more profitable. That's why people like Dave Rubin made that switch, because he knew he could make more money on the right than with TYT.
It's all coming together.
Mm-hmm. Oprah
behind you. Mm-hmm.
Now, JB, what that remind you of? Don't that remind you of the situation right now with the Biden administration and Israel and Gaza, where there's been those reports about privately, the Biden administration is growing angry with Netanyahu. Remember what we said? If they're not saying it publicly, it doesn't mean anything. If you're still giving Israel weapons, it doesn't mean anything. I don't give a fuck about what you say privately. I'm looking to see, can you be woman enough or man enough to say that shit publicly? And if you can't, then I know you're full of shit.
Basically, And this sounds to me like Oprah has a lot in common with Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
I have a public position and I have a private position. Interesting. So that means that all that tells me is that Oprah does not have true integrity when it comes to actually fighting for people who look like her.
nope.
The billionaire brain rot, people. That's exactly what it is. Because if she's not willing to stick up for somebody who looks like her, who comes from the same area, then what now? This is why we have to fight against this system. Because just because she made it as a billionaire doesn't mean that she's still not a product of the capitalist system that continues to exploit us. Because she became the very thing that she swore probably against years ago when she was a young woman.
Yep.
The same thing with Tyler Perry. He's become the very thing that he probably swore against when he was a young man. Now they are the exploiters. This is why when it comes to Black excellence, we got to leave the capitalist system, because every single time you say, oh, well, this person made it because they made all this money, that don't mean shit. Because if you're willing to use the system that exploit our ancestors in the first place, you lost the plot, baby. You lost it.
No, it's true. And it's really sad when you do your own people that way.
Oh, yeah.
It's really sad. It's like now you're doing the same thing that was done to you, but you're doing it to your own people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't get it twisted, guys. Oprah, listen, like these billionaires, they never want you to get to the level where they're at. They never want you to be any type of competition either. Oprah still want to be the queen. You guys understand that? Sometimes there's certain people, they get to those positions. They still want to be Oprah still want to be the queen. Tyler Perry still want to be the king. Now, yeah, they may give you a part in their movie with broken down trailers and trailers that catch on fire. Monique talks about that as well, or explode. Yep. She talked about that as well. They'll give you enough to say they paid you for the role, but they won't pay you what you're worth, right? So this is why people were voicing their opinion about the Color Purple musical, whatever. So they may give you a little part or something like that in the movie, but make no mistake, boo, they never want you to get to the level where they're at. Oprah still want to be the queen and Tyler still wants to be the king maker. So they want people to point to them and say, Oprah gave her that opportunity. Tyler gave him that opportunity. But make no mistake, they never want you to replace them. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ego, and not just in entertainment. There's a lot of this that goes on. And in reference to women, I can tell you, particularly in the workplace, it is not uncommon for women to try to hold other women down and prevent them from getting to that spot where they're at, because they want to be the one in that position. Oftentimes, it is other women who hold women back in the workforce.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's so much to go over. Look, that entire interview was almost 3 hours. There's so much more, but I'm glad Monique spoke out, man, because this, and when you take it with class analysis and you look at it, you start to look at things through the same way. And one of the things I wanted to bring out too, because I know that, I'm trying to, we have a hard stop, but one of the things I wanted to bring out was a lot of times when she said that people resisted because of who gave the message, because she didn't fit the description of what the right messenger was. Look, sometimes the best person for the job when it comes to us speaking out about our liberation may not be the person who looks the way you think in your mind.